temptation we're going to look at this morning is the temptation of throwing yourself off the highest point of the temple. This is what the Bible says in Matthew chapter 4, verses 5 and 6. It says, "Then the devil took him to the holy city and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. If you are the Son of God," he said, "throw yourself down, for it is written, He will command His angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." How many of you have ever had a friend that tried to get you to do something stupid? I know I have. I've been in class one time, and this kid asked me if I wanted to buy drugs. No, are you crazy? I'm pretty sure we have all been in a situation where someone wanted us to do something stupid. A few examples are finding the answer key before test was given. Maybe even wanting to steal something from Walmart or Target. Or maybe even wanting to jump off a tall cliff into a body of water. I'm pretty sure that list can go on and on. From what we just read in the Bible, the devil is pretty much playing the role of a foolish person or being, wanting Jesus to do something stupid. If Jesus were to throw himself from the tallest point of the temple in Jerusalem, there would be no need for Jesus to die on the cross. Because guess what? He probably would have gotten killed if he did such a thing. Like he did with the first temptation that the devil threw at him, Jesus, without hesitation and once again, immediately declined what Satan wanted him to do. This is what Jesus said in verse 7. He said, "It is also written, do not put the Lord your God to the test." What another slap to the devil's face. Jesus wouldn't do what the devil wanted him to do because he knew that Satan was filled with evil and lies. Jesus knew that it would be a stupid thing for him to listen to this particular temptation and to throw himself at the highest point of the temple because he would be injured to the max and possibly even killed, like I just mentioned a minute ago. The angels probably wouldn't even come down, as Satan said, because God the Father would be ultimately ticked off at his Son for listening and obeying the commands of the devil. So if you are ever tempted to do something stupid like throwing yourself off the highest point of the temple, stay clear of that temptation. Remember not to put God to the test, as Jesus said, because if you do something stupid, you may put your body and your health at risk. Shoot, you may even be killed, you may be caught, or you may even be thrown into jail. If you avoid this temptation, you'd be better off after the thought than you would be if you took part in whatever the stupid act was. The third and final temptation we're going to look at this morning is the temptation of bowing down to Satan. This is what the Bible says in Matthew chapter 4, verses 8 and 9. It says, "Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all of the kingdoms of the world in their splendor. All this I will give you," he said, "if you will bow down and worship me." How many of you have ever wanted something so bad that you would do anything to get it? I remember times growing up that I wanted something so bad that I would pretty much try to get on my parents' good side and hope that they would break down and give me what I wanted. I would do various things like doing yard work without being asked, cleaning the house without being asked, and washing my parents' car without being asked. The devil, I would think, had a good idea of how evil the world had gotten. Even with Jesus walking around on earth, there at the start of his ministry, there were thousands and thousands of evil people walking the planet, not obeying God and doing everything that Satan wanted them to do. He probably knew that Jesus wanted every living soul, every kingdom of the world in their splendor to be his. If everyone belonged to Jesus, the devil thought that would be a great thing and Jesus wouldn't have to eventually die on the cross to save his people from their sins. The only thing Jesus had to do to make this happen was to bow down at the feet of the devil himself. But did Jesus do such a thing? No, he did not. Once again, without hesitation, Jesus immediately responded to the temptation of Satan and said in verse 10, "Away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." Wow, that was the lowest of the blows to Satan. Jesus knew that Satan was lying. After all, the devil is the master of lies. Everything belonged to God, not to Satan. Satan didn't get control over the entire universe. God did. Therefore, Jesus told Satan that he wasn't going to worship him, that everyone should worship God and serve him only. You know, it's one thing to bribe our parents, our kids, our husbands, our wives, or our friends into getting something we